So we'll start with the starter, as we usually do. It's going to have to be a Trico, I believe. I wasn't really fond of the Torchic line. It was too hyped up in school. It was kind of like the Charizard 2.0 when everyone was talking about Blaziken and Torchic. And I wasn't really a huge memer back in the day, which meant I didn't understand the whole Mudkip meme. But with Trico, I saw it in the anime a lot, and I appreciated Ash having a Trico, which then evolved into Sceptile. Um, I've done a lot of Nuzlocks with Trico, and unfortunately, I've lost so many Trico and Grovyle that it makes me very sad. It used to be the fastest starter until Croaky became a thing, and then soon after, Gorbunny, and then soon after, Meowscarada. But he was the OG original fastest Pokemon, basically, or fastest starter, should I say. Fairy typings, okay, so this is quite easy. Could be Moa. Let's put Gardevoir there, because Moa might be. So Gardevoir, it was really nice to become a fairy type in Generation 6. It can create black holes and it protects you with its life. It's really powerful and competitive. It's really cool in the anime how it had a family of Curly and Rocks. And I could just talk so long about Gardevoir. Let's put Salamence here for now. Salamence again, a pseudo legendary. It was kind of annoying how it copied Dragonite basically, but it was the more offensive, faster version. It does get Intimidate, which is quite nice, and if you want to run Moxie, then that's just as nice as well. And it's just raw power in your hand that you can control, and who else wouldn't want to have a nice dragon type that flies around with you on its back, basically. I also like the concept as well that Bagon wants to fly and it can't. It evolves into Shelgon, it just sits there and it does nothing. And then it really wants to fly. It finally evolves into Salamence and it gets the ability to fly in the end, which is really nice. Ghost. Oh, this is difficult. I'm gonna have to go for Shedinja because the whole Ninjask line. So Nincada, Ninjask, Shedinja, I absolutely love. They're probably top 10. Yeah, okay, let's do that then. So we've got Nincada, Ninjask, and Shedinja. So the story behind this was I wanted a flying type for my Emerald playthrough, but I didn't want Talo. I was above Talo. I didn't want the typical normal type birds. I wanted a cooler flying type, and there was the option to have Pelipper, but I hated the idea of water flying type because it meant being quad weak to electric. So I thought, well, what other flying types are there? And then I found out, I discovered by chance that Nincada evolves into Ninjask. I was like, ooh, cool, like a bug flying type. I wasn't keen on the idea of it being quad weak to rock, but by that point I already finished the rock gym. So I'd already defeated Roxanne, so I had to worry about any rock threats coming up. And I just had this Ninjask on my team that was really, really quick and hit first basically every single time. And then the cherry on top was me being me, like young TVI, found out that it evolved into Shedinja. I was over the moon. I was like, wait, what? It was this 1 HP kind of bug in my box that I thought was a glitch. I was like, have I glitched the game out? What's happened? It was a ghost type, so I thought, have I just killed my Pokemon? And it was just a really cool gimmick that I needed a flying type that turned to Ninjask from Nincada. And the fact that Nincada was a ground type as well kind of made me feel really good about myself because there was no other ground and bug types back then. And the moves that Ninjask got as well, it got like Swords Dance, it got Agility. This thing was cracked in terms of different moves. So basically, one evolution at level 20, I had a Ninjask and a Shedinja. So moving on, if we go to rock now, yeah, I put Aggron here. I did want it in the steel section, but I'm going to have to put it in the rock section. Aggron was really cool. I caught it in the cave in my Emerald playthrough, and just Aggron became one of my MVPs on the team. It was a steel type, which obviously I've said it still is my favourite typing. So a really nice early steel type on my team was awesome. In the anime, it was really brutish, especially in the Diamond and Pearl days of the anime. Let's put it there for now. So Metagross again, pseudo legendary, really powerful. It hits hard. The concept of it having 4 brains and being this supercomputer, I thought was just ingenious. It didn't have too many weaknesses, like the fighting was cancelled out and the dark was cancelled out because obviously back then dark didn't hit steel for super effective damage. And yeah, just Salamence and Metagross, Aggron. I thought Aggron was a pseudo legendary as well, because I thought they were the 3 titans of the Emerald days, but so little did I realise that Aggron wasn't actually a pseudo legendary. Which leaves Marwal now, I guess. Yeah, I put Marwal here. So Marwal used to be a pure steel type. Obviously, I love my steel types, and I caught one in my game. I did have to choose in the end Marwal over Aron, and I chose Aron, which I think was the better option. And I did kind of sleep on this Pokemon during Generation 4 and 5 because it kind of got forgotten. I wasn't too fussed about Marwal. I didn't realise how bad it was when Generation 4 came out and Generation 5 came out. But then the Mega that came out in Generation 6, it just made me love this Pokemon all over again because it became a fairy type. It got a Mega Evolution, and it just got a huge kind of shift in how you use it. I do like my defensive Pokemon, and back in Emerald days, I didn't really know what typing Sableye was. I found it in a cave. I was trying to battle it, but my normal type moves weren't working. I realized, oh, this must be a ghost type. I tried hitting the ghost with my other ghost moves, but then they weren't working, and I thought, oh, okay. Realizing it was a dark type, and then I realized it wasn't weak to anything. It was only until Generation 6 that Fairy type came out that Sableye got a weakness, and I just thought having this cool little imp Pokemon that had no weaknesses was quite cool. Obviously, it's kind of hit and miss in terms of competitive. It can be really good, but then it's got low stats. But then if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But yeah, just I love Sableye. Its gimmick of having Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald on it as well. Kind of, I like the design element of that because they're the games it came out in. My favorite poison type is probably Gulpin. If I had to choose between Gulpin or Swallow, I like Gulpin better, just because of the concept of it has. It just eats and eats and eats. I think one of the Pokedex entries for Gulpin specifically says that it won't stop eating, or it has like multiple stomachs. I just think that concept is just brilliant because I love my food as well, and I love the idea of eating constantly. Yeah, okay, so Electrike. So there's a little bike route in Pokemon Emerald. You catch Gulpin, you catch Electrike. I'd always battle Gulpin Electrike and just train my Pokemon because there was that May/Brandon battle that would come up, and I didn't want to be facing them under leveled, so I always used to battle Electrike and Gulpin. If I had to pick out of these four, I do like Manectric. Its Mega in Generation 6 was quite cool, but I didn't really like the design too much. It was just kind of like too similar for me. I don't really like Plus and Minun. They're kind of meh options. So I think Electrike's going to be kind of cool. I liked it in the anime basically as well, because in the anime it had that whole arc where it was trying to train, it finally evolved, and then it became really cool. So for the ice section, I'm going to put Walrein. Water ice is really cool because then fire does neutral to it, and then with thick fat it makes it even less damage. This idea of this giant walrus having a nice seal family with Seal and Celio is quite cool. I like it in Pogo PvP because I did a community day for it, and it just kind of made me love and appreciate Walrein even more. Let's put you there, and then put Torkoal here. So Blaziken, I saw it in the anime. It was really good. It was a little bit overhyped in my school, but I can forgive that because there's not really other really good fighting type options here. I do like Breloom, but that's because of Gen 9. That's only recently coming up. I don't want recency bias to become a thing that makes me choose my Pokemon favorites. And the other two, Hariyama and Medicham, I'm not too keen on basically. But I'm really keen on Blaziken, so he can sit in the fighting slot, which leaves Torkoal to have the fire slot. So Blaziken hits really hard. I really liked its Mega Evolution that came out in Generation 6, especially with that Torchic code you get in the very early days of X and Y. I managed to get myself on a speed boost, and I thought it was even cooler when Oras came out, and then Mega Sceptile and Mega Swampert came out. Sceptile's gonna have to come here because it's just pure grass. Yeah, I can sacrifice these others. Let's do Kyogre Groundon, because I really like Groundon as well. And then Swampert, does that work? I think that works. Obviously, there's a few water types I really like here. I really like Milotic, I really like Wailord, but I just love Swampert a little bit more. And Grass has to be Sceptile because it doesn't have a dual typing, unfortunately. And I do like things like Shiftry and Ludicolo, but they're just going to be second best to Sceptile, basically. I do like Kyogre and Groundon as well, because in Generation 8, I'd use them back and forth, trying to set up Sun, trying to set up Rain, and working out a team for doubles with them. And Groundon and Kyogre are all my go-tos whenever it came to team building. Groundon obviously hits really hard on the physical side with its ground type moves. You can even give it maybe Fire Punch and just hit for fire damage. Kyogre sets its own rain up and does a lot of damage in the rain. You can give it things like Thunder and Blizzard if you wanted to just go all out special attack. I do like a lot of these megas, but I think Rayquaza needs a space on here, and unfortunately Salamence is here, and I can't really put on the flying section without nuking Ninja. So let's do that. Yeah, I really like Rayquaza. Rayquaza just had its Mega Evolution in Generation 6, and the fact that it had the Mega Evolution just by having a move set instead of it having its held item was just incredible. I like the Delta episode where you get to go into space and fly and catch Deoxys, and just Mega Rayquaza as a concept, its design looks flawless. Having extreme speed just really helps it out, especially on that physical side, because even if the opponent somehow tries to outspeed you, you've got a priority move there. Sceptile was the fastest starter back in the day. It had really nice move sets, and it was just a really nice solid option. I did a lot of Nuzlocks, like I mentioned, where I'd somehow get my Growl to Sceptile, and it would help me out with the next couple of gyms. Then we move on to Swampert. Swampert's ground and water, like we mentioned with Quagsire, means it's only weak to grass. Its Mega helped it out a lot. It got Swift Swim, which meant it could do double speed, which is really handy. And I really like Swampert as a really bulky option, especially in Pokemon Go PvP. I've always kind of used it. I always hate going up against it. The community days for all three of these were actually really cool. I got to hang out with friends, and they gave me fond memories of those three in the newer kind of years, as opposed to the Emerald years back like over a decade ago. Now, finally, for normal typing, it's probably going to have to go to Slacking. I do like Exploud, and recently I do kind of like Swellow, but Slacking is going to be the MVP for normal types because it's just my go-to for Pokemon Go when I'm putting Pokemon on gyms. Slacking has incredible bulk, it hits really hard. If you can ignore that ability, which in the recent years you can get around with certain abilities or certain counters. Slacking is just a really big powerhouse that unfortunately has that truant ability that holds it back. But in Pokemon Go, it doesn't have that, which helps it out just sit on gyms and take advantage of just that pure offense and defense.